Hello there everyone and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. So today we are going to do a nice lightweight mission. I still haven't... The last episode of the Eve mission has not gone live yet, so... But I want to get a little bit of recording done. So we're going to do a contractual obligations flight. We have... That was the wrong place. Hold on. First we need to go and check things out. So we've got a payload that needs to go to orbit around Kerbal, and we also have... I'm going to ignore these for now, although tempted to try this, but hitting a small target is not my strong suit, so I think I'll leave that be for now. So ignoring the Minmus target, which is not really worth it for just one contract, we have 2 payloads to the moon, 1 payload to orbit around Kerbal, and a stack separator to test while we're leaving the moon. So that's going to be our goal for today, is to design and possibly launch that particular mission. Okay, so 1 large commercial payload. That one's going to stay in orbit around Kerbal. And let me see, then there was a medium and a small for the moon. Whoops. And of course, that is a minor problem. Well, we'll just have to... Alright, here's how we'll do it. First of all, that's bad. Okay, so, discussion of the day. The future of this series. So, just looking at life and what's coming down the pipe as far as new games goes, we're just going to stick with this series. I'm just going to stick with this game, this series as it is, and we are going to roll with it all the way through until basically I'm ready to record a different series. I've restarted this. This is my 3rd time restarting the game, and I'm not inclined to start a 4th time right now. I've got other things I'd like to do, other games I'd like to play. And honestly, it's just not making me jump up and down with joy. The idea of doing it again is not making me jump up and down with joy, because I was talking about taking a hiatus. But I don't really want to take a hiatus from Kerbal Space Program until I'm ready to start the next series. Which still to be determined. I've got a few ideas on what that might be. But as far as things go at this very instant in time, I'm quite content to push this game as far as it will go, and we'll see how it looks. We'll see how things look. Okay, I'm gonna put a docking port here. None of these are going to need probe cores. This is just in case I need to move things in the future. Although I don't think that ever got... I don't know if Flowerchild ever added it to this version of the game. So now for our experimental job, we need to test... So Probe9 is the large payload to orbit. The Mooner payload... It's only got 1. It's the small payload that had 2. We need the one for Rokia. There we are. And then the last one is TR18D stack separator. TR18D stack separator. Okay. And that's the thing I need to test while we're on a departure trajectory from Minmus, or from the moon. So this is going to be a really simple design from this point. Interestingly enough, I have not actually added a probe core to this, which may have been a minor silliness, but there we go. So there's the command and control pod. And we need 1... All we're going to be boosting out is a very, very small ship, because these are going to be gone. Yeah, we just need a very, very little booster rig. This is going to be a funny, funny little ship that we need to build here. I think we'll do it with Funny enough, this is probably still going to be overkill. Yeah, one of these and an LV909. I don't think I'm underbuilding this, am I? This just needs to get this tiny little payload here. Well, okay, maybe I'll go just a tiny bit bigger. We'll use this. Might be useful for the final maneuverings, and we do have to throw on a battery. I mean, I just have to be on the escape trajectory. I don't actually have to accomplish the escape, so I don't need battery for very long. So that should be adequate for that part of the mission. We also need a tiny bit of RCS, and I mean a tiny, tiny bit. And that's a tiny bit of RCS right there. A couple of RCS thrusters, and we're good to go on that piece. Okay. So that one's going to trigger long before anything else does, but we'll trigger it by hand. Alright, so this will be contractual obligations. I think it's contractual obligations 2. Okay, so what we have is a 70-ton payload. Of that, we're only taking 19 tons of it to the moon. So this, we just have to get 50 tons of this just has to get to orbit. And that's it. And it has to go no further. Okay, why do I have structural stuck on? I have no idea. Okay, it went away. All right. So knowing what we know, we could do this very, very differently. This has 360 fuel in it. I'm just looking at this and thinking that is exactly the same amount of fuel, but it's much more vertically compact, which means the whole thing will be much, much, much stabler, which is good considering we are hauling a 50-ton monstrosity balanced on top of everything else. Yeah, I think I'll be much happier with the behavior of this thing. And we'll just put 4 of those on. That should be more than enough to control this little thing. And actually, if we want to make this even a little bit more sturdy, stable, let's use, let's see, the LV909 gives us 50 thrust. Each of those gives us 20. That gives us 120. So if I do 8 of those, what weighs more? This weighs 0.5, this one weighs 0.09. 0.5 divided by 10 is 0.05. Okay, so this does weigh, this weighs a bit more. But I don't really need that many. If I just want to match a Probodyne, each one of these gives 20, this gives, an LV909 gives 50, that means we're at 80 thrust. So we're almost twice what the thrust from an LV909 is. Excellent, so if we do that, then we can use the big decoupler here, and then we can put on the part of the ship that really matters, which is the let's get into orbit around the moon boost. We only have to get to the moon, so it doesn't have to be a lot. I think a Poodle and this tank right here will be adequate, along with, let's see, don't want too many batteries, but we do need, I think, 2. Somebody's going to tell me that I'm wrong. Let's see, it's about a 4 to 6 hour transfer to the moon. Let's just do the math. Let's do the math. Probodyne OKTO uses 1.98 per minute. Okay. 1.98 per minute means a one of those cores right there, that battery with 3,200 divided by 1.98 is 1,616 minutes divided by 60 minutes in an hour means it's good for 26 hours. Now the transfer can be done to the moon in a day. We have to get to the moon, get into orbit, unload these. Alright, yeah. Keeping in mind that we're not pushing this to the moon, just the rest of this, which is 40 tons. That should be more than adequate. I'm pretty sure I've pushed more than that to the moon before. Going up, going up, going up. So the only thing I'm missing then is a little RCS, and I do mean a little. We need these right here. And for RCS, let me see, I usually take one of these, which is way more than we need. If we take these, that's 150, so 4 of these would be 600. That's still more than I really need. 60 each. 2 of these is 120. Let's see, if we do 6 of those, that should be enough. 6 times 60 is 360. Yeah, yeah, we'll do it that way. I think that'll be good. Alright, so what lifter are we going to use? We have a 90-ton lifter. We're at 92. 120 tons, pushing it further than I actually need for this. Can I trim some mass? What could I trim off? I could trim off... I could carry all of my RCS on this right here. If I do that, I can take this out of here. That cuts it down to 91. Okay. Where else can I trim? There's not a lot of mass that I can trim on here. I think we'll be okay. I think the 90-ton lifter had a little bit of breathing room on it. Alright. And we need the 90-ton lifter that has recovery capability because... Oh wow. Yeah, this is an old one, isn't it? Not super old. Are those mainsails? We'll see in a second. It's been a long time since I've looked at this particular one, I think. That might not have been. Let's use this right here. There we go. And these are... The middle one is... What kind of engines do we have here? Why can I not mouse over those to see what they are? Come on, you're supposed to... Those don't look like mainsail engines? They're not, are they? They're not. Okay. We'll replace those with mainsails, because mainsails are marginally a little bit better in a lot of ways. That'll just make sure we're set up right. I think this middle stage was one I don't want to use either, because we want to use the skipper. Yeah, those were all keel hauls, weren't they? The skipper's a slightly better engine for that stage. Alright, let's push this thing down a bit. With any luck, those tweaks will have pushed this up to a good solid 90-ton lift. Speaking of which, is there anything we could trim off of the actual lift stage to make it more efficient? Actually, yeah, but there is. There is. We can trim, we can take... Those are pretty close to worthless. We'll put them right there. That'll work much better. Okay. So really the only thing I can see that could go horribly, horribly wrong right at this instant is the whole ship just falling to pieces right on launch. So let's just stabilize the monster. Because heaven knows putting a huge 50-ton payload at the top like that is a good idea. Double check our destinations. TR-18D stack separator, which was indeed this one right here. Oh, yes, our staging. We need to check our staging, because it always seems to go screwy on us. Yep. And there's the screwiness already. Push all that down there. All of these booster rockets to the bottom. Yeah, it never fails, does it? Now, which piece is that? That's way the heck up there. That should be a lot further up. This is part of stage... That's part of stage up there. Hold on, what are these? Those are the even uppermost stage right there. These should be a lot further down. I believe with this engine right here, yeah. And the stack separator that will actually detach them is this one, or activate them, is this one right here. Now these side ejectors need to be down in here. Gods, what a mess. That engine needs to be below these. These parachutes are fine. This stack separator is fine up there. It's all going to be manual. That's our test device, so it's last. Those engines. That stack separator and that engine should be separate. It should be like this. Okay, I think we're almost there. Those engines, booster, booster, engine, engine. Okay. Well, I see no reason not to try to put this thing into orbit. And then we'll get this in orbit, and in the next episode we'll do the rest of the flight to the moon. And by then I should have some idea of what mission proposals for the future will be. Yeah, I think I can have this thing in orbit in 10 minutes, or I can have this thing failed to get in orbit in 10 minutes regardless. Okay. So if this thing works ideally, we don't use this piece right here at all for any of the boosting. That nav ball is still greatly oversized. Alright, full throttle to the rockets. Stabilization active, and 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. This thing's probably actually overpowered now that I put the mainsails on there, which is good. We want it overpowered, honestly. Alright. Looking good. I think those are the old style solid boosters, aren't they? I think there was a more advanced one I was using on some of my recent designs. That's okay. I think only use the minimum you need. We really need to try and get this piece home. Whoa. Oh boy. That's not doing things I like. That is not doing something I like right there. Oh my. It's gonna break, isn't it? Yep, we're about to have a... Whoa, serious failure. Look at this thing go. It can't control itself. It's about to snap in half. Okay. What in the world happened there? Yep, there it goes. Okay, structural failure linkage. It happened 46 seconds in. I think we're more than 46 seconds in. Between the fuel tank and the battery pack. Interesting. No, it all happened at the same time, so, but it was... interesting. Okay, so it failed here. This is the part that came apart on me. So why did this come apart? It came apart because this whole thing was starting to sway. Let's see. We want... Okay, I think I just converted this piece to the root. a second. Yeah. Because now if I pull that off, nothing goes wrong. Okay. So the problem definitely came from here. So let's strengthen it. Because heaven forbid we add even more structural supports to this. So this is the linkage that failed. And this is probably the part that was responsible for it. So when in doubt, add more struts. Right? That's the way this game has always worked. When in doubt, add more struts. Okay. And yeah, interstage anchoring. Yeah, in theory that should do. Okay, round 2. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. The worst case scenario really is having to leave the big ship, the big piece home, which would, or I guess put it lower on the staging. There is actually another way I could do this, now that I think about it. So if this fails, I have a different plan. I have a good, different plan. But we'll try and get this one working first, because a silly amount of struts is always kind of fun. Okay. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Okay. We're looking a little better this time. Let's just hope it stays that way. As long as it doesn't start swaying, we'll be fine. Which is what happened last time. That wasn't a sway I saw, was it? That's just an illusion. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this thing's rock solid now. Just stick with that rock solid flight and we'll be all happy. We won't have to have any problems here whatsoever. So now I will point out I did not run the math on the viability of this flight, but sometimes you just want to get some contracts off of your books, and that's what we're doing today. Because maybe I can get one of the missions to explore an outer planet, which would be cool. Otherwise, I think Moho might be my target. Although Drez, isn't Drez an outer planet? It might be. I think I have that contract. Explore Drez. Yeah, I do. I don't even know which one Drez is. I don't think it's one I've ever been to, though. Those. Excellent. Gotten rid of without incident. Still accelerating quite nicely. Main sails are looking good. I hope. I think. Here we go. We're tilting. You're trying to tilt. Trying to tilt. Why am I not? Can I not? Do these not give me any flight control? Or am I using... I'm using the wrong keys. Whoa. Whoa, did you see that bend? Wow. Okay, calm down, big guy. Calm down. There we go again. Yeah, as soon as we did any tweaking there. Alright, I think the RCS will keep this whole thing steady. Yeah, because there are RCS thrusters on the top of this thing. There we go. That was almost a disaster right there. That definitely torqued the hell out of these. So my redesign, it occurs to me that I could put this big unit here below this stage and just leave it behind. It would work just the same way as what I've got going on here. So for future reference, put the big piece that's going to stay in orbit around Kerbal below the part that's going to the moon, and you won't have any troubles with the lead weight of doom swinging around on top of your ship. Okay, that's pretty much what that is. That's just like the death spiral of insanity up there. it may actually make it so this ship can't get into orbit, so... Because I'm burning through RCS at a, not a prodigious rate, but a sufficiently concerning rate. Just trying to stay on that apoapsis. Okay, our apoapsis is almost in orbital height. Bringing it up to the usual 74. 74. Okay, SAS off. We'll rotate until we are almost in orbit. Okay, we're going up fast. So we're going to have to start burning at apoapsis time about 30 seconds. We're going to burn slightly below the horizon line here. Now, hopefully that will be good. And we do want to burn when we're actually out of the atmosphere. It'll reduce drag and stuff. Alright, we've still got about half a tank of gas left. Alright, we're officially in orbit. And there's 30 seconds left. Okay, right on schedule. Here we go. Alright, we don't want this thing to be falling. So we're going to prograde it. Come on. Faster accel, faster accel. Keep bringing that periaps up. We need to go higher. Don't fail me now, ship. This is not the time to fail me. Alright, we've just passed our periaps, so we need to get high enough before... Is this thing not going to make it? That burn of doom we had might have actually done us in. Okay. I know we're burning towards the ground right now, but it seems to be burning us up actually higher. Because we're not burning towards the ground, we're just burning below the horizon. So... Ooh, it's going to be tight. It's going to be a close one. Our apoapsis, of course, is going up, which is a complete waste of fuel right now. I should have started my burn sooner. Yep, this is going to fail. Alright. Well, we might as well find out how much guts this has got. Oh, no, we're in the atmosphere now. Alright. Revert flight. Because that's a lot of failed missions right there. Kerbal Space Program cannot afford it. Okay. This is a complete utter gong show up here. Let's get rid of all that. And get rid of this. Pull it off from here. Pull all this off. Put one of these large commercial payloads out. Put a docking decoupler. Large stack decoupler right there. Put the large payload right there. Up we go. A little higher. Now hopefully the stack decoupler from the ship. One more undo. There we are. Give those back. Good. Stack decoupler is still there. There we go. That should work much, much better. The only problem I can see is the fact that it did not actually make it into orbit. Why did that happen? Because we're just a little bit too heavy for the booster system we've got. Which means we need to trim a little more mass off of here. We get one battery out of there. We'll get rid of that. Get rid of this now because it's actually not needed. Put the battery on this stage. Alright, so the question now is, what's our payload? 91. Do we really need a docking port on these? I think we can get away with not having it. Oh, but we do need to separate it in a manner that doesn't mess up our mission, so... Okay, how are we doing? 91. 91 tons. Short of trimming fuel. It's a 41-ton payload going to the moon still. I know. We can put on the better booster rockets. Because we have a more modern, a better booster rocket. I think it's the, yes, the SRDs. There we are. That should give it a little more oomph. Probably the oomph needed to actually get this thing the rest of the way up. Just attach them all to each other. That's probably not actually a good idea. Okay, attach that to that. Attach that to that. Okay. I would appreciate your thoughts on the design, but I think this is what we're going to fly in the next episode. Some days you win some days you lose some. That's all. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.